Hello everyone, Mr. Garino here. In this video, I'm going to illustrate how to incorporate a chart into your stocks project so that you can see how your stocks are doing not only by looking at the numbers, but also by looking at a graph so you can tell graphically if you're doing good or not. So the things I want in my chart are, of course, the dates so I can see how I'm doing over time. I don't really want the profit. I do want the total, see how much total is going up or down. And then I also want to see the total for each particular stock, so Netflix, Sony, so I can see, okay, how much money did I make overall, and then also which one of my stocks is doing good and which one is doing bad. Again, all graphically. So the best way to do a chart usually is to highlight all the data first and then insert the chart. So what I'm going to do is highlight my dates here by clicking with the white plus sign, holding down and dragging, and then I want the total. So I'm going to click here, hold down and drag. But look what happened. I lost the highlighting or the selection of the date. So how do I get date and total and these other totals all selected without everything in between? Because lots of times people, when you make a chart, you're selecting everything. So you go like that or you go all the way over and down. But we don't want numbers of shares, so we got to skip some stuff in the middle, and that becomes an issue. There is a way to do it. And not too many people know about it, but now you will. Haha. So click, hold down, drag through the date, then let the mouse button up, hold down the control key on the keyboard, go over to total, click, hold down, and drag through. So you notice now you have two selections separated by the column profit in the middle. These are all highlighted in blue because they were previously selected. These two are highlighted in blue because they're part of the selection. This one's not, but it is selected. And for whatever reason, the way that they show this with a black border around it is to say, hey, this is the last place that you clicked. So I clicked here and dragged with the control key down. And that's just the way they're showing it. So watch what happens when I go over to Netflix. I hold down control, I click and drag. So now these are all blue, but this one is the white one with the border around it. If you go over to Sony and you mess up and you choose this and you click and drag through, well, there aren't a lot of ways to undo that. In fact, whenever I've undone it, it screws something up. So if you click and drag through the wrong thing, just start over. So click away, start again, and when you start over, if you have a bunch of things selected and you chose this by accident, and you go to start over and you don't let up the control key, like I actually did it when this box was chosen. I held down control when I went through here. This box is going to be part of my chart. Ugh, that's a nothing out in the middle of nowhere. It's going to throw off the chart and screw everything up. So when you start over, make sure you let the control key up. Probably good to click away somewhere. When you start your first selection, do not hold down the control key. So you click, drag through. Then when you go to the second selection, that's when you hold down the control key. So total, drag through, Netflix total, drag through, still holding down the control key, Sony total, RSH total, I don't even know what that is, Wendy's, and United Airlines. Now that you have them all chosen, you go up to insert, and you can choose all different type of charts, but we've been checking this stuff on the internet. What do they always use? They use a line chart. So to check how data trends over time, just like it says there in the little flyout tooltip, line chart would be the best. So I'm going to click this and choose the top easy one, and there's my line chart. I don't think we need a vertical axis title because obviously we're talking about dollars, or a horizontal axis title because obviously we're talking about the date, but we could use a chart title. So up here, while the chart is selected, you get some extra tools on your ribbon. If I click away from the chart, they disappear. So you have to click on the chart so that they pop up. And I'm going to go to layout and go to chart title, and I'm going to center it over the chart instead of above it just because I like that. And then where it says chart title, I'm just going to type stocks. Remember, if you hit enter, it puts in a blank line, which you don't really need, so just click away to accept it. I think you could also hit escape. Let's see. Yeah, hit escape, that works too. Click over, drag it over here so it's not on top of the line. Okay, so that looks good. You can make this bigger if you like. And you could put in pretty picture in the background, pretty colors in the background. We've done all that before, so you know what to do. So you can make it look pretty. And then the other thing, we've kind of done this, and I just want to go over it again. This legend right here, series 1, 2, 3. I mean, that's meaningless, just a general series number. So let's give it a real name. So while this is selected, if you right click, it's not format, it's select data. You can actually even right click anywhere and choose select data. And so you get this dialog box over here. And you'll notice these dancing ants. Those are the values that we selected. Okay, so the first one, the A column, that's over here, the dates. But the series, meaning each one of the lines, that's over here on the left. So series 1, what is that? Well, when I click edit, it tells me it's column C, because I can see this is the range right here. It goes from C2 to C4, and they put the dollar signs in between there so nothing changes. So what column is C? That's the total. So I'm going to name this total. And when I say OK, you'll see it changes over here. And then series 2, edit. And that's column H, which is Netflix. So I don't know if you want to type the whole word or the symbol. I'll just type the symbol, say OK. And then do that for the other ones as well, which I'll do that. But let me pause the video so as not to waste your time. Okay, now I'm doing the last one. Series 6, edit is United Airlines, UAL. And there you have it. So now it looks good. But obviously I've done this chart when I only had 3 lines of data. Maybe you're doing a chart, you only have 2, maybe someone else has 4, because in the beginning of our project. But obviously we're going to be adding this every day. I mean, that's this project is. Add every day and see how much money you're making overall from the day you start it. As a little interesting sort of combo Excel sort of stock or spreadsheet and stock type thing. But how do we get our chart to incorporate extra days? Meaning, and I'm going to go somewhere and get some more data and paste it in rather than type stuff. So I'm going to pause this for a second and then come back. Okay, so what I did here is I pasted in 5 extra days. So now let's say for real, what I did was I added 5 more days, and I noticed, hey, wait a second, my chart only goes up to October 2nd. Well, it only goes up to October 2nd because when I set up my chart, that's all I had was three rows. As you add rows, the chart doesn't automatically extend. You have to adjust that. And the way you adjust it is, if you right click here and go to select data, you'll see that all these dancing ants only go down the 3 rows that were originally there when I made the chart. So I can adjust that. I click on total, I say edit, and this is column C. And column C used to go down just to row 4. Now it goes down to row 9. So over here, instead of a 4, I'm going to make that a 9 and click OK. And my chart actually didn't change. Well, the reason why it didn't change is I'm only letting it go out to October 2nd. So really I need to change this. Probably better to change that first, but I just wanted to show you that first anyway, to show you that it didn't change. So I'm going to click edit over here and say, oh, that's column A, which is my date. And I'm going to change that. Well, actually, obviously, they're all going to go from 4 to 9. That's pretty obvious. And you can see as soon as I click OK, it goes out to October 17th, which is what this student had way back in 2012. So the total's already there because I had already changed that from 4 to 9. But now I have to go and do that for all the other ones as well. And just to show you another way to do it, while you click edit, you can change this to 9, which is probably easier, but just to show you, you can click this button here and redrag. So right now it only went through 3, but if I click here, hold down and drag down to there, it changes my selection. And really everything's the same except 4 went to 9. You click this and Netflix went out to October 17th. And then say OK. Alright, so let me pause this while I do the other 4. Okay, so now I updated the other 4. They all go out to number 9. And here's my chart. But then we're going to add some more lines. And then we're going to change this again. Well, that's going to get monotonous real fast. Every day it's real quick. You change your 5 prices using the hyperlinks or the portfolio or whatever to get done real quick. And then you got to go and do all that stuff for the chart. Well, that's kind of silly, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay, so let's do something different. Let me pause this while I paste in a whole bunch more data. Okay, so actually, rather than put the data in here first and change stuff, what I want to show you is this. We changed everything to row 9, but rather than row 9, we know we're going to be putting in about, oh, 30 or 40 rows. So let's go in here and accommodate for a lot of rows. So what I mean by that is select data, click on edit over here. Instead of row 9, let's make it something a lot more than 30 or 40. How about 75? And say OK. And say OK. Nope, didn't have to do the second OK. Select data, go to total, say edit, make this instead of 9, make it 75, say OK. Alright, so that's going to be going all the way down to row 75 right now. There's nothing in there yet, but eventually there will be. So Netflix, same thing. Instead of 9, make it 75, say OK. And I'm going to go and do the other ones while I have it paused so as not to waste your time. Okay, now I'm doing my last one, changing the 9 to 75. So now they're all done. So I have, oop, I don't know that I did this one. Did I? Yeah, I did. Okay, so you can see it goes way past here, but it only goes up to 1017. And the reason for that is it didn't extend the chart past 1017 or October 17th. Even though this goes way down to row 75, it didn't extend past that because there's nothing there to extend, and it knows that, so it just doesn't go any further. But when you do add a row, so if I was to add in October 19th, this would go out to the 19th. These things would all bump out a little bit based on the values that are here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this for a second and go get a bunch of data and paste it in and let you see what happened. Okay, so what I did is I pasted in a whole bunch more data, went all the way down to row 30. Of course, I said down to row 75, which more than is going to accommodate 30 rows or 40 rows, depending on how many you end up doing. I mean, some days you might be absent, miss a day here or there, and that's okay because we're only going to look at when we end the project, how much profit you made. So the ending time to the beginning time. So if you miss a few in here, that's okay. But this is a project you need to do. There'll be a second quarter grade. So when I go and check your stocks in the second quarter to see how much you made, if you only have 2 or 3 rows, well, that's not good. You haven't been doing this every day like you were supposed to. So the point is, do it every day. If you miss a day because you forgot, that's fine. If you're absent on a trip, whatever, that's fine. But you should end up with about 30 rows. Okay, so putting in the number 75 was probably a little overkill. 50 would have been fine. 40 probably would have been good. But hey, I just chose 75 arbitrarily. So you can see once you add in all your other data, the stock automatically extends. It automatically incorporates wherever your stocks went. Okay, if I was to add another row here right now, so if I do the copy paste and I change this from, I don't know, January 30th of 2013 to February 5th, 2013, you'll see that as soon as I hit enter, this updated. Now all the lines are straight because I didn't change any prices. But if I was to do that again, copy, paste, because it's incorporated all the way down to row 75, if I change this to February 7th of 2013, as soon as I hit enter, the chart goes out a little bit more. Now you may notice that the date over here didn't change. And the reason why the date didn't change is it puts in the dates here that it can fit along the axis. So if I make this longer, or yeah, if I make this longer, it can fit in more dates, and sometimes it chooses to put them on an angle. If you make it shorter, oh, my mouth's a little jumpy here, then it puts in less dates, and now it's on an angle, and I don't know how to get it even back the other way. I mean, who cares? Whatever way it does it is fine. So, but just so you know, you're not going to see every date there when you have a lot of dates. It fills in as many as it can. Okay, this one put 26. 26 not even on my list. So it does some sort of approximation thing just to show you that, hey, this is over time, and we started over here, we ended around over there. It's not real critical, the exact dates here. It's just, this is a graph or a chart. Okay, so you make it as long as you want or as short as you want. Last thing I want to show you is if you want to go back up to the top and see, okay, which one of my stocks am I talking about in these columns? Now that you got your chart all done, if you scroll up, you can see that. But as soon as you scroll down to see your chart, you lose your headings, which is kind of silly. So there's a real easy way to fix that. Go up to View, Freeze Panes, Freeze Top Row. So now when you scroll, the top row stays there and just the values go up off the screen. So you can scroll over to here and say, oh, okay, Netflix. Oh, yeah, that's the one I made all my money on or whatever. That's the red one over here. Okay, so you input chart. Make sure you freeze the top rows because eventually you're going to want that. And remember to put in a number that's nice far down on the bottom, 50, 60, 75 like I chose when you're doing those edits. And then every day when you do your copy paste, the chart automatically updates, which is a nice thing. You don't want to have to go in and change the chart around every day. That takes too much time. It's silly. It's a waste of time. Better to be efficient so that we can get done quick and go do the things we want to do. Very good. Thank you.